are you?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for checking in again. As always, a great way you can support this channel is by hitting the like button, putting a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you had for breakfast this morning. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I want to let you know that today is going to be pretty crypto heavy. There's some big things, some interesting things that I want to talk about. Towards the end, I want to take a look at CCIV. It's been a while. I should have talked about that SPAC much sooner than now, and then I'm also going to take a look at just how some stocks are in my portfolio, how they're doing, and I'll also share with you where I am over the last week, the last month, the last 3 months. And so stay tuned for that. Listen to the end, but why don't we just go ahead and dive right on into it. So first things first, Bitcoin is up to another all-time high. Surprise, surprise. Now this time, what they usually do, so 53,000 is the next barrier. I don't expect that to be any kind of resistance at all, honestly. But usually what happens is that it'll, for like a few seconds, cross the 53,000 mark or 52,000, whatever, and then go back down immediately. And so this didn't even get here this morning, but got up to, about 52,950, something like that, and then corrected a little bit, and we're going to be retesting that. I think we'll be breaking through that sometime soon. We are still early with Bitcoin. I do think that we are near a point where if there's a crash, let's say I am on record saying this is going to 200,000 plus. If there's a crash, I could see it going as far down as maybe 60,000. That is my most bearish estimate. So I do think now is a good time to get in. A few things I want to point out with Bitcoin in particular. I make it a habit of looking at this one factor here. Let me move myself out of the way so you can actually see it. The MVRV Z-score, I'm not going to take the time to explain it. Even if I did, I think it would be confusing. Just look up Bitcoin MVRV, and what you'll see is that this thing has been very close. It's been within days early, about 10 days early, or 2 weeks, as much as 2 weeks early in predicting peaks when it comes to Bitcoin's previous cycles. And so there was a blow-off double top in 2013. This thing came very close to predicting when, essentially, if you were to pump and dump, when you should get out. And then in 2017, December 17th of 2017, this thing was at its highest in December 7th. The Bitcoin price of Bitcoin topped at a little under 20,000 on December 17th of 2017, so 10 days early. So this thing, but here's what happened in 2017. There were three quick rises followed by corrections, and that predicted kind of mini tops, local tops. So June 7th, MVRV peaked at 5.6, and that was a mini top, but I mean, at the same time, the price of Bitcoin was, what was it in June? I think like between $2,000 and $3,000. And so there was probably, I think, a 30% correction from there. But I mean, by no means is this an exit point. However, we're seeing something similar here where we seem to be topping out in the 6 range instead of the 5 range. And I think that's going to be a trend for this time around, as we'll be topping out a little bit higher. And MVRV, so here's what I'm thinking based on this and based on Google Trends. So I made a video on my other channel. My other channel is pretty much defunct now. It was a Bitcoin only channel, or a crypto only channel. And so I made a video in January titled "Why I'm a Little Bit Nervous About Bitcoin Right Now." And I looked at two things. I looked at MVRV score and I looked at Google Trends. You can see Google Trends. Again, search interest was at its absolute highest in December of 2017. That was a strong sell signal. January 8th, was when Bitcoin reached a peak, a local peak of $42,000 before correcting to $28,000. And I was getting nervous because this trend score was increasing. And so I'm feeling a little bit better. We are quietly, relatively quietly, at $53,000 for Google search interest by Google search interest standards. I do expect this to rise over the coming days and weeks. And this paired with the MVRVZ score, I do expect this score also to rise a little bit before some kind of a correction. My guess is that we will see Bitcoin get close to $60,000 maybe in early March, and then there will be some kind of, 25% correction. And so maybe the price of Bitcoin will get down to 45, maybe 48. I don't know. But I think we're nearing the point where Bitcoin's getting hot again and we're going to need to cool off. And so my strategy, like I've said, I'm transferring a lot of funds over to BlockFi. There is a referral link in the description of this video, and I'm loving it because I get interest on my Bitcoin and my Ethereum. And so what I'm doing right now is I transferred $20,000 over. The first $15,000 I just put it in right away. This last $5,000 I'm adding $200 increments, 1/25th of that every day. And that is my plan until 25 days from now, or 23 days from now as of now. But pay attention, MVRVZ score, pay attention to Google Trends. That'll be a very good indicator as to where local peaks are. So anyway, moving on. Bitcoin. First North American Bitcoin ETF booms on debut with 165 million of shares trading hands. Now, I already looked it up, and I cannot find a way to trade this. It's in Canada on the Toronto Exchange, but there is incredible demand for this, and I am salivating for the day when I can trade a Bitcoin ETF. And why is that? It's not necessarily because I want to be holding that over actual Bitcoin. Absolutely not. It is options trading. If you are able to trade options, if you are still learning how to trade options, there's plenty of information on YouTube about how to trade options. You can buy calls, buy leaps, and especially right now, if there was a Bitcoin ETF available for me to trade, I would be buying leaps and I would be forgetting about those, and I would be making so much on those leaps. It would be ridiculous. But I can't, alas, so I will not be doing anything like that. But in Canada, if you're in Canada, I would look into that for sure. So moving on. Bitcoin at $1 million. Some analysts are bullish, but others warn of risks ahead. The risks that this article lists are actually pretty funny. There's it's kind of silly, the risks. But let me read the key points here. Bitcoin has surged over the past few months, has surpassed $50,000 for the first time this week. Anthony Pompliano, a.k.a. Pomp, co-founder and partner of Morgan Creek Digital Assets, said Bitcoin could reach $500,000 by the end of the decade and eventually go on to reach $1 million per coin. One JP Morgan strategist warned that a major risk could be retail flows into Bitcoin drying up as economies reopen. Okay, this surge in the price of Bitcoin, this is the thing I'm laughing at with this. This surge in the price of Bitcoin is mostly fueled by institutions. It's mostly fueled by Grayscale, by PayPal, now by Tesla, by Guggenheim, by billionaires. It's retail, unlike other things that we have talked about on this channel, retail has very little of an effect right now, as of now. There is coming a time, most likely, when retail will be pouring in pretty heavily. But as of right now, it's institutions. We keep hearing every day about institutions getting in on this. And so that's a silly warning. But anyway, Anthony Pompliano, he's known as the biggest, most influential voice in Bitcoin. I would take that with a grain of salt. Peter Schiff is number 2. He's a long Bitcoin bear. But anyway, Anthony Pompliano, co-founder and partner of Morgan Creek Digital Assets, said Bitcoin could hit $500,000 by the end of the decade. It could eventually reach $1 million per coin, he added, without giving a timeline. I want to tell you something about what I just read here. Anthony Pompliano is not telling you the truth. He's not telling CNBC the truth. Because if he were to tell them what he actually thinks, they would laugh him off the set and he would never come back. He does not think that Bitcoin could hit $500,000 by the end of the decade. If he were being honest with them, my guess is that he would think that Bitcoin will be around $8 to $10 million by the end of the decade, and that it could eventually reach $1 million per coin. No, maybe $1 million in the next 4 or 5 years, but not $1 million eventually. That's ridiculous. I assure you that this is true, that Anthony Pompliano felt sort of a pressure to give a conservative estimate. So I think the thing I tell my friends is I think Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million this decade. I actually think it's going to be much higher than that. There's a long time to go in this decade. We saw what the first decade brought. I think $1 million is a given. I think $10 million is definitely a possibility. And as far as where Bitcoin will end up, I mean, if we're going to measure this in dollars, the sky is actually the limit. The moon, Mars, Pluto, whatever you want to call it, the Andromeda system is actually the limit, because we shouldn't be thinking about it in terms of dollars. The end game here is that 1 Bitcoin will equal 1 Bitcoin. But if you want me to throw out a number, sure, I'll throw out a number, and brace yourselves. All right, $100 million. How about that? That's where I think we will see a Bitcoin one day, and not necessarily that that's a good thing, and not necessarily that you will, with 1 Bitcoin, be able to purchase the 2021 equivalent of $100 million worth of stuff. So anyway, Anthony Pompliano is not telling you the truth, and that's okay. He's not telling CNBC the truth because they can't handle it. They're not ready for stuff like that. Hopefully you are, and hopefully you get in. Get in. Now is a great time to get in. And I thought this was amazing. This picture here, this chart, whatever you want to call it, places where Bitcoin is selling at a premium. In Nigeria, this is how much faith they have in their currency. Nigeria, they are paying $78,000 as of when Bitcoin was trading around $51,000. They are paying $78,000 for a $51,000 Bitcoin. And I'll tell you why in a second. Argentina is paying $53,000, Malaysia, Venezuela, South Africa, Peru, people are paying on the black market $53,000 for Bitcoin. Why are they doing that? I'll give you a second to think. There is one thing that these countries have in common. And here we go. Bitcoin is illegal in these countries. And that is not stopping people. These countries, oh my goodness, the fact that they are doing this, it is such a detriment to them. And that is not stopping people from buying Bitcoin. Making Bitcoin illegal will not stop people from buying Bitcoin. And people in Nigeria right now are willing to pay. Nigeria, the 4th most populous country in the world, 5th actually, are willing to pay $78,000 for something that is, as of now, worth $53,000. What does that tell you about faith in fiat currency? It should tell you a lot. That should speak volumes. And honestly, if my only option were to pay the equivalent of $78,000 for a Bitcoin right now when Bitcoin is worth $53,000, I would do that in a heartbeat if I didn't own any. Maybe considering the fact that I already own some, maybe I wouldn't, but I probably still would. I would probably put chunks of my paycheck, maybe like $100 a day, into Bitcoin that's worth, half, not half, 2/3 as much as what people in Nigeria are paying for it. And so I don't blame them. They're going to do it, and you can't stop them. And that's why my other channel is titled World War Bitcoin. That's what I see coming. They are going to try to stop Bitcoin. They won't be able to stop it unless they pull the plug on the internet, which they won't. And if they do, we have much bigger problems ahead of us, okay? So anyway, moving on, Binance. Oh my goodness, guys, Binance is going insane right now. Their BNB token, it's not up 13%. Literally every time that I check the BNB token, it's higher, and it's unbelievable. I just honestly, this for a coin this big to be doing what Binance is doing. Binance is now, I think, the fourth largest coin as far as market cap is concerned. For them to be doing this, it's insane. And so what is happening? Let me explain to you what is going on with Binance right now. Binance is a platform. Okay, Bitcoin is sort of a platform. There's ecosystems that can be built on Bitcoin. Ethereum took that and made it 100 times better by building this, being able to build this massive ecosystem on Ethereum. And Binance has essentially done the same thing, where there is an ecosystem that exists on Ethereum, on Binance, where others are able to make tools, they're to make tokens, to make non-fungible tokens, to make pegged tokens, which I'll explain, and build on that. Ethereum is easily the biggest. I have tons of Ethereum. I am bullish on Ethereum, but Ethereum is running into some problems that I do expect them to fix. And so let me read this article here. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Right, competing decentralized exchanges are trading blows in the world of open source software as rivals Ethereum-based Uniswap are catching up to the Unicorn project in terms of volume and nominal liquidity. Leading the charge is Pancake Swap on Binance, the automated market maker clone of Uniswap on Binance's own blockchain, Binance Smart Chain, has seen liquidity grow 1,003% year to date. Volumes have been a tad more impressive, 2,800% from 37 million on January 1st to 1.1 billion on February 17th. Its native cake token, has shot up 6,000% since its release last fall, and is now trading hands at $12.77 per CoinGecko data. And so they are using Binance's platform to build all of this, and Binance is benefiting from that. Binance's native token, BNB, is also reaping rewards from the newfound attention on BSC. BNB broke into crypto's top 5 coins by market capitalization at $191 per token on Thursday. Let me stop there. $191 per token yesterday. And where are we now? I'm going to look it up real quick. $285.26. Up almost $100 a coin since yesterday. So after gaining 13% in 24 hours, all right, after gaining another how much percent, according to Messari. The token is needed to process transactions on BSC, similar to Ethereum, ETH on Ethereum. And so here's the issue that Ethereum has to fix. And I'm going to go to Coin360 here in a second. And, okay, I don't have to wait for it to load. So you see on this right side of the chain, Ethereum tokens, all of these are built on the Ethereum platform. You see hundreds, many hundreds of tokens. These are just coins. They're not NFTs. They're not anything else like that. It's just coins that are built on Ethereum's platform. And there are some big ones, some big players here. Chainlink, Aave, Uniswap. What else do we have? I mean, we have some stable coins, Maker. So lots of coins here. Hex in particular. So let me describe to you in moves that I have made as to what is going on here in the problem that Ethereum has to solve. And so Ethereum, I wanted to buy some Hex. Hex is a small market coin that I think it hasn't done much lately. In fact, it's gone down in the last month since I purchased it. But I see it as a coin that has a potential from where it is now to 100x. I could be totally wrong about that. But I see it as a gamble worth making. So I put $500 on a Trust Wallet to buy Hex. Trust Wallet took almost 10% of that, so I was left with like 400 something, 460, let's just say 460. And I had to buy Ethereum on Trust Wallet, and then exchange Ethereum for Hex. That exchange from Ethereum to Hex cost me something like $10, which is utterly ridiculous. It's ridiculous that it costs that much. And Ethereum's fees are unbelievably high right now because miners are mostly the ones setting those fees. So on the other hand, I have Binance, which I have several tokens that I have purchased, exchanged through Binance. So what I do on Trust Wallet, again, I buy Binance and then I exchange it for other tokens. Let me show you one of the tokens that I have. Get out of here. Okay. So here's the 3x long Bitcoin token. Now, this is not perfect. In fact, it diminishes a little bit over time. Okay. But this has outperformed the price of Bitcoin over the last year or so. So I'm extending to a year chart here. So let me see. I'll go to November. November, Bitcoin crossed $15,000 for the first time, and this coin was trading at 9,000, 12,000, 11,000. Let's just say 11,000. Earlier, all right, September 7th, Bitcoin was around $10,000 a coin, and the 3x long Bitcoin bull token was 3,900. And so now Bitcoin is 53,000, and we have a current price of this 3x long Bitcoin bull of 94,000. So it's not perfect, because this did top out at $88,000 or $80,000 a coin when Bitcoin reached 42,000 on January 8th. And then when Bitcoin had a correction, this thing corrected more. And then when Bitcoin got back to $42,000, this thing was not still at 88,000. So with that being said, it's not perfect. It is not a perfect 3x correlation. However, it is outperforming Bitcoin as a whole. So I have a little bit. I have 0.05 of this token, not a ton. And I used Binance to buy this token. This token has been built on the Binance platform. It cost me pennies to exchange Binance into this token, whereas it cost me $10 to exchange $460 worth of Ethereum into Hex. That is a problem that Ethereum needs to solve. And what I love about Binance is there's tons of tokens like this. Like, I can't buy Polkadot yet. I have no way of buying Polkadot. But I bought Binance and exchanged that into a Polkadot pegged token. So I have 77.97 of a Polkadot pegged token, which I can exchange back to Binance. I can move on to a platform where I'll be able to exchange that into actual Polkadot when I'm able to, but I can't now. And so Binance has all these pegged tokens. You can buy pretty much anything with Binance, and that's what I love about them. And so the Binance platform, because of these low fees, these attractive offers, they're attracting lots of people, and the Binance token is benefiting from it. So if you're talking about diversification, Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's maybe 80% of my portfolio, and then the other 20% is Binance related. And so I would take a deep dive into Binance for sure. So anyway, that is it for crypto today. Now, moving on, I did say I wanted to talk about CCIV, Churchill Capital. And so the Churchill Capital stock price is increasing, has been increasing it hasn't been around for very long, but let's see here. Started out around $13. Now it's worth $58.05, and pre-market it's up to $60. This is mostly fueled by a rumor of a merge with Lucid Motors. Lucid Motors is an EV maker, and they're going to be coming out with a $165,000 luxury electric vehicle coming up here. I don't know if this picture is actually of a Lucid motor car. It is, and that is an ugly paint design. I hope that if I were to buy one that I don't have to do that. But SPACs, you got to do research on SPACs if you don't know much about them. SPACs, the big thing with SPACs is any special purpose acquisition companies. When they acquire companies, when they merge, that is a catalyst for the stock price to go up. And so this rumor has been happening for a while, and the price has risen accordingly, and there is room to grow here once that Lucid merger actually happens. I think personally that CCIV is still a good one to get into, and I don't know if it's a buy the rumor, sell the news type thing. It's more so once that acquisition happens, this price will be higher. But there are risks because this is all rumor right now, and that's what this goes into. Lucid was founded in 2007 by Etf, by former Tesla executive board member Bernard Say and entrepreneur Sam Wang. Etf spent years being more focused on battery technology like QuantumScape than pursuing development of a luxury car. It pivoted in 2016 and changed its name to Lucid. So Moving on, January rumor of Lucid merger with CCIV. This is not the first breathless report that Lucid Motors would merge with a Klein-sponsored SPAC. On January 11th, Bloomberg reported that Lucid would merge with Michael Klein SPAC, valuing Lucid at up to $15 billion. This still has not happened. As for the February 16th report that this merger was imminent, the parties are not confirming it. According to Barron's, Churchill and Lucid weren't immediately available to comment on today's report. So, should you buy CCIV? At this point in time, it is entirely based on this rumor with Lucid. If they were to not buy Lucid, that price will crash. So do you believe they're going to buy Lucid? If so, then CCIV is a buy right now. If not, then there will be a better time to get in. I personally do believe that they will be merging. I do believe that now is a good time. I do believe that if they do not merge, that there will be other opportunities and CCIV will be at a good price. And so that is my opinion on that. It was trending, CCIV was. And so, maybe that means it's a little hot. I think it's worth a little risk, not a big one, to get in right now. So anyway, moving on. Here is a look at my portfolio. The market has not opened as of now. As of the making of this video, market opens in 11 minutes. So I will look at where my portfolio is. But Riot Blockchain, I've talked plenty about Riot Blockchain. They are, I believe, the 5th largest holder of Bitcoin, and their stock price has correlated as a result. And you can even see this back in 2017 that's what happened. The stock price correlated, and so they had a little bit of they had a rough day yesterday. Went down 15 points. It got a little too hot. I saw it in Reddit, people talking about a lot, hyping it up, but moving back up. And as the price of Bitcoin moves up, and again, Bitcoin at 200K this year, what's that going to mean for the stock price? I think it's going to mean $200 a share easy. So I have 4 options, 4 calls in this, and so every dollar that this goes up, I make $100, or I have 4 calls, so $400. So I'm looking, pre-market at least at a $2,400 gain off of this. And same with WBAI, they are heavy into Bitcoin mining machines, and so this stock price has begun to correlate with Bitcoin as well. And look at that. I mean, same deal. The news broke out recently, in December, that they were getting heavy into Bitcoin, and so I have, I think, 4 calls as well with this. $1.40 up pre-market. We'll see where this goes. Apple is boring. I know. I mean, in comparison to anything crypto related, Apple is pretty boring. But they've had some. They topped out at 142, I think, and that was their all-time high. And so now they've had a little bit of a correction, and 142 intraday is what they topped out at. And so now they're down, but maybe they'll be moving up. They do have rumors that they are going to be purchasing $5 billion of Bitcoin and opening their own wallet in the App Store. I do believe that will be bullish for them. I'm going to look up Tesla real quick. I forgot to do that. I'm not excited at all about Tesla right now, and I am in particular thinking about somebody on the live stream who we saw, who last I saw was down like $76,000 because he YOLO'd into Tesla weeklies, and the lowest priced call that he bought was 805. And so things aren't looking great for him now, but we'll see. Tesla has bounced back a little bit. I mean, got to give them some credit. They got down, but it looks like they're bouncing back. I would stay away from Tesla. That's just my opinion. Stay away from Tesla. They are too hot right now. Michael Burry is against them. I think that they're going to crash. But in the same breath, it's like I have stronger opinions of that now than I have previously. It's always been scary with Tesla given their high price earnings ratio. Immersion, I'm big on immersion. Speaking of Tesla, immersion, if you don't know, if you have a PlayStation 5, their controller, apparently, I don't have a PlayStation 5, but their controller got a lot of praise, and Immersion was behind that. They do a lot of optics technology, and they are working with Tesla in the EV market. I am long Tesla as far as 10 years is concerned. I just think they're a little hot now. I think Immersion is going to benefit from partnering with Tesla, and that this stock will be much higher a year from now, 10 years from now, etc. So another SPAC, PSTH, up a little bit. I mean, this thing goes in very small swings. It has been climbing slowly and steadily. I don't know of any rumors of companies that they're acquiring, but I'm very safe. I'm very comfortable with this one. I would encourage you to get in on a safe play. Buy options and shares. I have both, and I would encourage both for that because the shares benefit from those mergers in ways that the options can't. GameStop. All right, GameStop's up a little bit. This is why I didn't want to talk about the hearings and everything like that. I just didn't think it would have an effect on the price, and that's all I care. I care about the bottom line. I don't care about what this does. So GameStop went down pretty heavily yesterday again, down to $40. I still have all my shares. I'm still buying $10 worth of GameStop every day, and that will be the case for the foreseeable future. I don't know. I may never stop buying $10 worth of GameStop, honestly. Maybe 20 years from now, I'll still have that $10 buy order in. So we'll see. We will see. I expect to 10, 20 years from now to have been worth it. No doubt. So I like the stock. ARK. Kathy Wood, I believe in Kathy Wood. I bought in at 155 on one call, just one call. And, it hasn't been performing well since then, but, peaks and valleys. It has been going up steadily over the past year, and I still have faith. Obviously, I have faith. I have faith in Kathy. I believe in Kathy Wood, so I will get behind anything she does. Again, I think this is a good play. So that is it for today. Well, no, actually, it's not it for today. I told you I was going to take a look at my portfolio 5 minutes before market opening. I'm not going to wait. Yeah, so I am, over the last week, up about $8,000, and over the last month, up about $76,000. That's mostly because of Bitcoin and GameStop. Again, I got in on GameStop very early, so sorry for those of you who didn't. I truly am sorry. Let's see. And over the past 3 months, I am up $123. No, I'm more like $130,000. So anyway, that's how I'm doing today. Every Friday, I'll just take a look at that. I do expect mostly for that to be fueled by Bitcoin in the coming weeks and months. Not just Bitcoin, but Ethereum and Binance and things like that. So anyway, let me know again what you had for breakfast in the comments, or what do you want to talk about? Any stocks in particular you want to talk about? I got a request to do an intro video to Bitcoin. I may be doing that sometime soon. So with that in mind, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. See you.